Okay, we continue with the word of the Most High. We're in Isaiah, the 29th chapter. And verse 10 says, "For the Most High have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep." See, that's what's happening. The Most High done poured upon the pastors first and foremost, the ministers first and foremost, a spirit of deep sleep. Where they can't see this. And have closed your eyes. Like you say, you're going to bite out one of your eyes. Have closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered with this type of spirit of darkness. And the vision of all this become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which being delivered to one that is learned, I don't care if you have a doctorate degree, saying, "Read this, I pray thee." And he said, "I cannot, for it is sealed." If you don't understand that this book is talking to the Israelites, it's our book, then you're not going to understand this anyway. As a Gentile, I had a friend, but he had Acts the 15th chapter, all highlighted, a letter to the Gentiles. Died thinking that he was a Gentile. Tell him he's an Israelite. Went out as a Gentile. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, "Read this, I pray thee." And he said, "I am not learned." He ain't learned. But the Most High said, "For as much as this people draw near me with their mouth," they sound good in the church. They sound good like they're really praising the Most High. Got all this idolatry there. They're dealing with Sunday worship, the first day of the week. Most High said the seventh day. The Sabbath day is his day of worship. Look at the calendar. You'll see the first day of the week. Show it to a child and say, "What's the first day you see on the calendar?" And see what they point to. The day that you worship the sun, Nimrod and Tammuz and Semiramis and so forth. Your Trinity. That's your Trinity. Because the Most High ain't set up no Trinity. You can't show me nowhere where the Most High set up no Trinity. Y'all inserted, baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. You won't find where they did that at any day. Show me in the Bible where you seen they say, "I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost." Anywhere in the Bible. You're not going to find it. Because they inserted that. For their Trinity doctrine. For, like I said, Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. And whatever name they use after that, it comes from those three entities. All the way back to Genesis, Nimrod. Listen to what it says. Verse 13. Isaiah 29 and 13. Wherefore the Most High said, "For as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me." You hear that? As much as you call on the Most High, sound good. Got your music going, you sound like you're praising, really praising the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're not. Because you remove your mind far from him. Listen, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Not the precept of this Bible. But turn to your neighbor and say this. Turn to your neighbor and say this. Precept of men and not of the Most High. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the understanding of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe unto them, destruction unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, and their works are in the dark. And they say, "Who seeth us? And who knoweth us?" You think you hiding in the dark, doing what you doing. Say, destruction unto you that hide their counsel from the Most High. They seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High. You ain't, no matter how you look at it, you can see deep as you want to, but you ain't hiding your counsel from the Most High. Not the Most High that I serve. It might be the Most High that you serve, but it ain't the Most High that I serve. You ain't hiding from him. Listen what he tells you. He got something for you. You seeking deep to hide your counsel from the Most High, but you don't know him, because if you know him, then you would understand. That's a waste of time. That's really a waste of time. When he tell you in Ecclesiasticus 23 and 19, oh, that's right, y'all don't believe in Apocrypha. But you better understand it's right here. It's part of the Holy Bible, the 1611 King James Version, the original. See where I went to? Most High is powerful. The Spirit is powerful. You see that? What that say in that corner? Apocrypha. You see what it says? Apocrypha. That's what I'm reading from. The Apocrypha, where the Protestant church took it out. It's still in the Catholic Church, but the Protestant church took it out. Why? Because they don't want you to get the true understanding of the truth. You can't deal with religion and bring that forth. See what it says right here? This is a table of contents. You see what it says right there? The Apocrypha. It's right there. See, the problem is you can never teach the truth out of this Bible, out of this Revised Version Bible, without the Apocrypha, because between Malachi is the Persian and Mede Empire. And after the Persian Mede Empire is the Greek Empire. But between Malachi, the last prophet of the Old Testament, to Matthew, when you get to Matthew, you're in the Roman Empire. So what happened to the Greek Empire? It's right here in the Apocrypha. In 1st Maccabees and 2nd Maccabees. Here it is right here. It's right here. Because who took down the Persian and Mede Empire? In history. The Greeks, right? Just real quick, Malachi, first book of the Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that's who was in power in Malachi, that he reigned in his stead, Alexander, the first over Greece. See? That's Alexander the Greek. So where you going to find it at in the Bible? Between Malachi and Matthew. You're not going to find it. That's why I say woe to you, because you're not teaching the truth. Isaiah 29 and 15. Woe, destruction to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High. And what they're doing, you got people that's setting up seances and stuff, praying for these mega preachers, that they may still be successful in this wicked world. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High. But understand this. What you don't understand is what is written in this Apocrypha for you. For you to see and understand and read with understanding. Ecclesiasticus 23 and 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men. That's why you following the doctrine of men, the tradition of men. And knoweth not, since you're trying to hide deep your counsels from the Most High, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men. He see what you're doing. And consider the most secret parts. See what you're doing in secret. He know what you're doing. 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Can you imagine that? No, you can't imagine. We can't even look at the sun with our naked eyes. But his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, seeing everything. Why he said, woe, destruction. Isaiah 29:15. Destruction unto them, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Most High, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us? You know the Most High see you. The most secret parts, he said. And who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say unto him that made it, he made me not? So it's telling you, the potter's form of the pot or whatever it is, can you get a pot say, hey, you didn't make me? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have no understanding? Is it not yet a little, very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into fruitful field, and the fruitful, I don't know what that is, field shall be esteemed as a forest? And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. This is us right now, who he's calling to understand his truth. We seeing it's the meek, the humble, those that are humble, also shall increase their joy in the Most High. And the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. Hear that? The poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. Not the rich. It's going to be harder for a rich man to enter into the kingdom than a camel going through an archway that's in Israel. A little archway. That he's going to be afraid his hump going to get caught in that little archway in Israel. For the terrible one is brought to naught. Hear that? And the scorner is consumed. Those talking against us. And the terrible one, the one ruling this world, going to be brought to nothing. And the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. All you that looking for what you're doing in wickedness to pay off, you're going to be cut off. Thus say the Most High. Understand this, overstand this. So we're going to go into how the Most High looked upon us. Look at Ezekiel 16:4. And as for thy nativity, in the day that thou wast born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supply thee. Thou wast not salted at all, nor swaddled at all, nor I pitied thee. None I pitied thee. Nobody cared about us to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee. Nobody had compassion upon us. But thou wast cast out in the open field to the loathing of thy person in the day that thou wast born. And when I passed by thee, most I said, and saw thee polluted in thine own blood, he seen us polluted in our own blood, Israel, lights, I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live. Said unto us, live. Yeah. I said unto thee, when thou was in thy blood, live. I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, many children, and thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thy hair is grown, whereas thou was naked and bare. He made us naked and bare. We went to captivity, for sure. Now when I passed by thee, when Most High passed by us as Hebrew Israelites, and looked upon thee, he looked at us. Behold, thy time was the time of love. He looked upon us and said, our time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. So he spread his skirt over us and covered our nakedness. Yeah, I swear unto thee, and entered into a covenant with thee, a contract, an agreement with us as the children of Israel, between Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the 12 tribes of Israel. Said the Most High power, and thou became mine. You hear that? This only to us as the Israelites, period. The covenant, let's look at it. We got to deal with it. He said, I swear unto thee, I entered into a covenant with thee. Who's the covenant with? Let's prove it. Psalms 105 and 8. Psalms 105 and 8 proves who the covenant was with. He hath remembered his covenant forever. Remember this covenant, his contract or his agreement forever. This proves who the covenant was with. The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. So you know what it's talking about. Which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel, the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, for an everlasting covenant, everlasting agreement, everlasting contract, everlasting covenant. To who? The Israelites. So going back to what he said in Ezekiel 16 and 8, and entered into an covenant with thee, that you are the 12 tribes of Israel, said the Most High Power, and thou became mine. He gave us his covenant, we became his. Then washed I thee with water from our blood. Yeah, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil. He anointed us with oil as a nation. I clothed thee also with broidered work, decking us out. Broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. He decking us out, man. I decked thee, wow, here it is. I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck. So these things are what we are accustomed to doing. Not running around like butt naked like we some heathens or something. If that's the case, then why we don't go back to our really original existence? If we was running around in Africa butt naked, why don't we go back and do that? Why you don't feel like doing that? Because it's not in your nature. Hear what he did? I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck, and I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thine head. Powers and authority, man. That's what he did for us. Thus was thou decked with gold and silver. See? And thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour, and honey, and oil, and thou wast exceedingly beautiful. Yeah? Exceedingly beautiful, to the point where all the nations was jealous of us. And thou didst prosper into a kingdom. He said we did prosper into a kingdom. Man. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. See, they was talking about us. Among the heathen, say, man. And thy renown, our fame, went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. For it was perfect through thy comeliness, for thy beautifulness, which I have put upon thee, said the Most High Power. Man. All the nations talking about how beautiful we are. You look, here's a prime example. Shoot. Better recognize Judith and Esther is right together. Look at both sides powerful, boy. Just take me right to where I need to go. Open up this book and go right to where you want to go without even. That's the spirit. All praise the Most High. Judith, the 10th chapter, and let's look at verse 17. Because Judith Well, let's look at it first. Because she took off her widow clothes, because she was a widow, and this is what she did. Judith 10:3, so you know, and pulled off the sackcloth which she had on, and put off the garments of her widowhood, and washed her body all over with water, and anointed herself with precious ointments, smelling good, and braided the hair of her head, and put on a tire upon it, and put on her garments of gladness, wherewith she was clad during the life of Manasseh, her husband. So she didn't marry it again. She was still a widow, and she put on the clothes that she had when she was decked out for her husband Manasseh. And she took sandals upon her feet, and put about her her bracelets, and her chains, and her rings, and her earrings, and all her ornaments, and decked herself bravely to allure the eyes of all men that should see her. See, y'all ain't quabbing here. Because this cat want to come and kill us. Okay? So let's look at when she came to meet the general. The first watch of the Syrians watch. Let's go ahead, jump to verse 12. Judith 10:12. And took her and asked her, of what people art thou? And whence cometh thou? Remember what I said? The nation was amazed at our beauty. You always hear me say, no more beautiful ladies than ours. Listen. And took her and asked her, of what people art thou? And whence comest thou? Where you coming from? And whither goest thou? Where you going? And she said, I am a woman of the Hebrews, and am fled from them, for they shall be given you to be consumed. So she yai-quabbing. She getting over. She supplanting. And I am coming before Holofernes. This is after we done fasted and prayed and cried to the Most High, people. This ain't just off the that day she just did this. No, we done fasted and prayed and cried to the Most High for deliverance. She told the people to do that. And I am coming before Holofernes, the chief captain of your army, to declare words of truth. And I will show him a way whereby he shall go and win all the hill country. How she gonna show him a way how to win all of Jerusalem, all the hill country, without losing the body of life of any one of his men, without losing one of his men. Siaiquab, just the planet getting over on. That's Jacob's name. Now when the men heard her words, listen at this. Now when the men heard her words and beheld her countenance, looking at her, heard her words and looked at her, they wondered greatly at her beauty. You hear that? Remember what he said? Ezekiel 16:14, and thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. For it was perfect through my comeliness, perfect through the Most High's beautifulness, which I put upon thee, said the Most High power. Heathen knew about this. So it says, Judith 10:14, now when the men heard her words and beheld her countenance, they wondered greatly at her beauty, and said unto her, thou hast saved thy life, in that thou hast hastened to come down to the presence of our Lord. Now therefore come to his tent, and some of us shall conduct thee until they have delivered thee to his hands. And when thou standest before him, be not afraid in thine heart. Don't be afraid in your mind, but show unto him according to thy word, what you have told us. That you come to make sure that none of his men is going to die. You're going to show him a way of how to conquer Jerusalem. and he will entreat thee well. He gonna treat you well. Listen. Then they chose out of them 100 men to accompany her and her maid. And they brought her to the tent of Holofernes. Then was there a concourse throughout all the camp, for her coming was noise among the tents. Everybody started talking about it. Remember it said? Ezekiel 16 and 14. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. So listen. Judah 10 and 18. Then was there a concourse throughout all the camp, for her coming was noised among the tents, and they came about her. They came to see this beautiful woman, and she stood without the tent of her Holofernes, till they told him of her. She stood outside until they told Holofernes about Judith, standing outside his tent. And they wondered at her beauty. They looking at it, man, that's like I say. How beautiful was she? Everybody's tripping out of her beauty. Remember, Ezekiel 16 and 14, and thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. It was perfect through my comeliness. Listen, Judah 10 and 19, and they wondered at her beauty, and admired the children of Israel because of her. You know, they admired the children of Israel because of her. And everyone said to his neighbor, who would despise this people? Who would despise this people that have among them such women? Telling you, I'm not saying it for nothing. I got eyes to see, and I know what the scriptures have said from renown. Like he said, Ezekiel 16 and 14, and thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty. Ooh. Listen, what they say, who would despise this people that have among them such women? Surely it is not good that one man of them be left. Let's kill them all. Kill every last man, who being let go might deceive the whole earth. And they, because they don't kill the men so they can have our women. And they that lay near Holofernes went out and all his servants, and they brought her into his tent. And now Holofernes rested upon his bed under a canopy, which was woven with purple and gold and emeralds and precious stones. So they showed him of her. And he came out before his tent with silver lamps, going before him, coming out to look at her. And when Judith was come before him and his servants, they all marveled at the beauty of her countenance. How beautiful this woman was, this Israelite woman was. And she fell down upon her face and did reverence unto him. And his servants took her up, picked her up. And she started to h.o.i. And when you look at Judith the 13th chapter, look at it says, now when the evening was come, his servants made haste to depart, and Bargarus shut his tent without and dismissed the waters from the presence of his Lord. And they went to their beds, for they were all weary, because the feast had been long. You know, he had a feast where they was eating and drinking. And Judith was left alone in the tent. And Holofernes lying alone upon his bed, for he was filled with wine. He had been drinking a lot of wine, so he lying up across his bed, filled with wine. Now Judith had commanded her maid to stand without her bedchamber and to wait for her coming forth.